Well, I think everybody that has sent me stuff except Sue. Sue isn't here yet. So we'll go ahead and start looking at things so we have plenty of time. We got a bunch of stuff to see tonight, which is cool. So let me share my screen here.
Did
I get it?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
First one is Janelle's.
Thank you.
This
is a project that I did between some of my larger projects just to accomplish something. This is Sylvia's little hummingbird pattern.
Oh yeah, that's
great. How big is it?
Oh,
approximately.
Maybe by 15 by 15.
Okay, neat.
It comes in all different kinds of sizes. So I offer a website so you can get it in smaller sizes, but some of the paper piecing was quite intricate and even a challenge for me to do. I can't imagine doing it any smaller, but she does do it that way. So it was really, really, really interesting. And I had seen another quilt that had the dragonfly pattern, and it was in different sizes and it was really pretty. So, but this is just something I did in between some of my other projects, and just to have some fun and feel like I've accomplished something.
Beautiful.
Really pretty.
The quilting is beautiful. The quilting is beautiful. Did you do that yourself?
Huh?
Did you do your own quilting? It's beautiful.
Yes. I got some superior threads, polyester monofilament, and that is gorgeous stuff to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can't see the stitching in it, and or the thread in it, and it is that fine, and then it is that transparent. So it was a really good experiment with that thread, and I learned a lot.
When I used to teach beginning machine quilting, would start with the monofilament thread, because people go, "Oh, that looks pretty good," because they can't see their stitches.
Yes.
It gets them started and gets them encouraged, and then you put thread in it and they go, "Oh, that looks terrible." Okay.
Yeah.
Next are Pat's. Let's look at one.
We need little signs that say beautiful, great.
I'm not cute.
Okay.
Pat, tell us
This is the second. I went ahead and posted my 2 challenges. Modern Athens Quilts has a curve challenge. It's due Thursday, but I figured I didn't think anybody who on here will also be on Thursday night, because I usually don't post completed challenges till the release date. We had to do curves. This was my second one I did, and it's pretty much my design. It's kind of loosely based on the whack and stack idea of doing curves, and I just freehanded it. All K-facet except for the center, which I just left plain, and then I came up with a wave pattern to do the outside edges, and that's all. The binding is done with K-facet shot cotton, which is a little bit of a challenge to work with. And if you can see it, you can't really see it, but the shape of the outside is what I did all the quilting on an angle from upper, as you're looking at, from upper left to bottom right, with a variegated thread.
Okay.
That's very striking, having
And
it
it's about
with the curves, the curved
it's
outline.
It's about 18 by 18 inches. That's what that's the specification. But they said we could be a little flexible, because I said I want to put curves, and how do you curve 18 by 18 exactly? So anyway, I had a lot of fun with that. It was a bit of a challenge to get all the curves to lay in nicely, but I've come up with a pretty good way of doing curves now.
Very good. You mean the outside or the
So
strip?
all of it, just, you know, how to stitch the little pieces, because some of those are pretty small. Each of those blocks is a little under 6-inch square. So you've got some pretty tight curves.
So what's your clue that you discovered then, Pat?
Set my needle off 2 clicks from being a 1/4 inch. So I'm doing a very scant quarter. And then when I come back, I clip it about every 1/8 of an inch.
What
So
about your
those
stitch lengths? What were you using?
1.5 to 2, no more than 2. Often 1.5 works really well. So you're doing a lot of little stitches and a lot of little clipping.
Very good. That's gorgeous.
I would do a lot of ripping.
Okay, this is the other one of Pat's.
And this is sort of much more of a classic. This is the Wheel of Mystery. It's a standard pattern. It has a template, which I happen to have. And I said, I'd always wanted to do this. And I went around looking for fabric and found a big piece of, I think it was hand dyed ombre batik, which I think just really popped this and made it so much more interesting than what I've seen it when it's just normally 2 colors.
Mm-hmm.
And then the quilting is very simple, as you can see. I had some trouble with it, and Terry gave me a good idea, but I haven't torn it out to try to redo it. I used Wonderfil's, what's it called? Invisifill. It's not your visible thread. It's called Invisifill. It's polyester coated cotton. It's 100 weight. But it tends, at least in my machine, to want to skip stitches when you go over these, heavier intersections.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry saw this. I was working on it, and she gave me a suggestion, but I decided I didn't really want to go back and tear out sections of quilting. It's good enough for this.
The shading in it is so subtle. It really is cool. I want to see it in person.
Yep.
Yeah, well, if we ever get together. Yeah, I really, that's as good as I could get the picture. I didn't drag out, well, I don't have my big camera up, so.
I really think our first meeting just needs to be pure show and tell. Maybe the first 2 or 3 meetings is pure show and tell.
So that, and I'm not finished. I'm working on another one that was inspired by working on curves. It's not part of this challenge really, because it's quite a bit bigger. And hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have it ready to show. But I saw something on Pinterest and went from there, made my own pattern as I went.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Sharon, tell us about yours.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you got it done.
This is my second scarf from the scarf workshop I'm taking. And you're supposed to think of a landscape. And I thought of the Anastasi's, out in the West. And so, you're working on it all sideways. So all the little square fabrics were like their houses and the cliffs. And then anyway, you make all these different little elements and you put it on. And I don't think the actual scarf is quite that bright. My camera on my phone makes things a lot brighter. But I had a lot of fun. So that one was hand done, which I don't do much of. But you're taking a bunch of silk and squishing it up. And my little cheap heart is going, oh my God. $20, here, and $20 there. And, oh man. So anyway.
Very pretty.
It is, the back is that gray and blue. It's real kind of pretty on the back too. So,
Very cool.
Is that an online class?
do what? Yes,
Is that
it's an
online
online
class?
and all this stuff came from Australia, and then I figured out that I could have gotten it here in the States, but I didn't quite understand what all the different options were. So now I know.
People enjoy wearing that one.
Yes, and they're very light, so that's one thing that's good about the South. This is the first scarf, just off, and just freehand motion, what do you call it, free motion, embroidery. So that's where quilting came in. You know, that one was good. And it's a lot thinner. It's the tissue silk. So it's I really enjoy doing that one. And then the third one is we make all these little things that we've learned to make in the other one, and then we're just going to be going around. Sorry, now this is the back of the second one.
Okay.
At that goes with the one you saw first, but and then we just do those circles around and around and around, connecting them. So I'm up to the sewing around and around, and I haven't started that yet. But I've really enjoyed it, and I really like doing it at home because this was a class I was supposed to go to Lake Tahoe, and I got scared that I wouldn't be able to because of my neck. And so this teacher, and so this I can do for an hour and stop, you know, then maybe another hour and stop. And she's broken it into chunks, so you feel like you've gotten something done, and it feels worthwhile. And so I've really liked this format. And a lot of the other people are saying the same thing, that they've got bad necks, bad backs, whatever. But I really like it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's good.
Okay, Sheila, you have to pay attention now and tell us about your quilt.
I am paying attention. I'm multitasking. This is, you know, I multitask. This is a baby quilt that I made. I just took it off the frame yesterday, as a matter of fact. It is going to go as a thank you gift for, so Wes, our youngest son, is still deployed. Jacob came back, and I'll get to that in a minute, but he's still deployed, and he's got a couple keeping his dog for him, and she's pregnant. And I said, would you like me to make a baby quilt for her as a thank you gift for keeping your dog? And he was like, yeah, that'd be great, Mom. So I said, we'll find out the theme or whatever. And so her theme is safari, and it's hard to tell from this unless you zoom in, but there's little safari animals in the print. In one of those prints, the green is leaves, and then the other print is little paws. The back, which I didn't take a picture of, sorry, but it is very safari on the back. And then I found a quilt design called Animal Crackers. It is so cute. It's really hard to see though because the fabric's too busy, but there's an elephant, a lion, and a giraffe. And it's just precious, the quilt design on it. So I still have to bind it, but I'll just bind it up, and he'll have a nice gift for his. In hindsight, these cross pieces that have the little animal heads in them, I would have done those in the darker color and had the ones that were going across darker instead of the green up and down. They would have been the ones that were going across there. Just in hindsight, I think visually it would have been better. It wouldn't have looked, because like this, it looks like rose, which was not what I had in my head. So lesson learned, I'll do it a little different next time. Put the darker fabric as the horizontal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And this one?
And then the next one, this quilt was a customer quilt, and she's not a part of our guild or anything. So but she said she didn't care if I posted it. So I thought, well, I'll post it to our Zoom meeting too. And she made this top 13 years ago when she was pregnant with her first child, because her mother and grandmother sewed and quilted. And so how hard could it be? Well, she found out how hard could it be. She cut all those pieces, every square individually. And this was a big quilt. When it was finished, it was 83 by 86, I think, if I remember right, something like that. So it's a big quilt, especially for a first-time person. And sashing is a harder skill, you know. I mean, sashing is hard for your first time around, and she had nobody helping her. So she was just kind of doing it on her own. And as you can see, the rows are